Okay, so for this video, I'm going to be telling you guys everything I'm worried about in this up and coming video game, EA College Football 25. Also, shout out to Tubby Light. He gave me the idea for this video with his video, 6 features that I'm either excited or worried about for College Football 25. I don't watch a lot of EA College Football YouTubers. I normally just look at their titles and thumbnails to get inspiration to make my own videos. And I had this video done for a while, but I decided to change it totally after getting a second to watch Tubby Light video, and he basically changed my mind on some things and made me realize there's a lot more that I'm worried about and excited for. So shout out to Tubby Light once more, and now let's get into the video. The first thing I'm worried about is gameplay. If you played Madden in the last 4 years, then you already know. The thing is, EA doesn't care about gameplay. They just care about making their game look great. It's kind of like the Steve Jobs method, where you want your computers to look as good as possible. But the thing about the MacBook is it functions like it's supposed to, and the looks doesn't deceive you.
In Madden with the new engine, you have linemen missing easy blocks and cornerbacks turning back to the ball before they even know it's being thrown. Also in this year's Madden, they made interceptions impossible to pick off for the cornerbacks if you're not using them. So now the offense gets multiple chances, and that's just not fair. If my cornerback gets to the ball, let him pick it off. I have lost so many games from that crowd. They haven't cared about gameplay since the PS4 came out, just about graphics, and you really can't blame them. Their game still sells great, and from a business point of view, why would you change the product when your sales continue to increase every year? What I'm hoping for is something similar to NCAA 14 instead of Madden 24. You guys are probably asking why am I making such a big deal about the gameplay when NCAA gameplay has always been better than Madden, and the reason why is because EA College Football will be on the same engine as Madden, and of course the game have always been on the same engine, but back then EA was making their game on a completely different engine than the one now, which is the Frostbite engine. This engine is made for first-person shooters, not sports games, and people have been saying that EA needs to change the engine for years. Ever since Madden has started using the Frostbite engine, the gameplay has gone downhill. I do hope the developers prove me wrong with this take, because when I look back on it personally, the best gameplay I ever experienced from an EA game was NCAA 14. The next thing I'm worried about is RTG mode. One thing I would hate for RTG mode to get is a storyline and cutscenes. I'm so over it. As a kid, when sports games started doing it, it was cool. The peak storyline has to be 2K16. It was fun for the time being, and it totally took advantage of the new graphics consoles was able to achieve at the time. But now in 2024, people don't want to sit and watch cutscenes, but actually play the game. For the most part, I know some people enjoy coming up with their own storylines for each player they create, and I hope EA knows that and don't give us another generic storyline and cutscenes, or at least give us an option at the beginning to have them in. And for me, I never really cared for EA storylines except the FIFA one. That one was good, but Madden storylines have just felt generic to me. The gameplay in NCAA 14 helped RTG mode out a ton. It was fun, arcade-like, and just an all-around cool experience. But with the gameplay I've been seeing from EA in the past couple years is concerning, but I already explained my concerns with gameplay, so I'm not going to ramble on about that. The next thing that I'm worried about is Dynasty mode, and the reason why I'm worried about Dynasty mode is because connected franchise in Madden, EA has this thing where they expect for you to fix their game for them. Basically, you have to go in and play mad scientist with the sliders yourself just to get a half decent franchise. If you play franchise mode, teams do things that they would never do in real life, and even players do things that they would never do in real life. And I understand it's a video game, but it can get frustrating when you're doing a 10 or 15 year rebuild and you have a couple 99s that don't get signed in a free agency. Now it's different with EA College Football because players leave after 3 to 5 year period, so you don't have to worry about players never having a college to go to or teams cutting valuable players for no reason. Or maybe you do with EA logic, you never know. But then again, there is 134 FPS teams and no cap space, so I'm wrong about the player part. Hopefully players will have a place to go, but then again, it's EA. Another thing that I'm worried about is online mode head to head. Now the reason I'm worried about head to head is because people use the most OP teams every year and they never switch it up, and I would hate for EA College Football just to be a Madden clone in this category, where instead of it being Chiefs versus Bills, it's just Georgia versus Ohio State. And of course we will have more variety in teams, but I just hope that EA adds a system where it would make the lower tier teams actually playable. And one way they could do this is by taking a page out of 2K's book, where you give each overall tier list, and only teams in that tier list can play each other. So you don't have a person that wants to play with a low 80 overall team playing against somebody with a high 90 overall team. So then you actually give people a reason to play with every team in the game, instead of it just being the main powerhouses like Georgia, Ohio State. Who
else would be a powerhouse in this game? Maybe Alabama because of Jalen Milroe. If they give him 95 speed, that team going to be cheesy. But I don't know. Y'all put it down in the comments. Let me know who's going to be a powerhouse in online play for this game. Okay, so this might be my last take in this Ultimate Team, because at the end of the day, if Ultimate Team start making majority of the money, this could just become a Madden Junior. And I know we did not all wait 10 years for this game just to end up being a Madden reskin. Now I do hope for Ultimate Team to succeed a little bit, because that is how EA makes its money, through packs. I'm just hoping that they don't put all their effort into Ultimate Team, as they have said that Dynasty Mode and RTG will be their main focus. But at the end of the day, EA is a business, and if they see that Ultimate Team is making them more money than any other game mode, then they will jump ship. Now a cool thing they could do for people that play both games, Madden and college football, is to make it, if you have a player card in college, then you get that player in Madden. So if you have an Ed Reed Miami card, then you get his Ravens card in Madden. I think that would be fair for people that bought both games and play with Ultimate Team. Okay, so yeah, that was my last take. I'm really hoping that this game does well, but to tell the truth, we won't know until we have our hands on the game. I wish they could just go ahead and drop it since it's basically finished, or give us a beta to play, but knowing EA, they're going to make us buy this game. They're not letting us test it first. But anyway, peace out.